All right, folks, welcome aboard. I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about deadlines. I've often found over the years that my students who struggle the most with the college application process are the ones who put things off till the very end. And they don't really understand or think about how much is going to be due and when. And then they end up writing essays that are important, but they end up doing them the night before they're due or starting from scratch the week before something is due. I want to talk a little bit about how I can help you with that and what my approach is to these deadlines. Okay? So first of all, let's just be very clear on how much you're going to write. Okay. Now, basically everyone is going to do one Common App essay, and that's at a 650 word maximum. Okay. You will also likely do a certain number of supplemental essays. These can be anything from 100 words to 250 words, and some schools will have one or two, others might have a half dozen. But I would expect that you're going to write about, I would say, 750 to 1,000 words in your supplements. Okay? Now let's say you're where I am in California and you want to apply to the outstanding UC system. Okay? Well, the UC personal insight questions are, you're required to do 4 of them, and they need to be 350 words apiece. So you're looking at about 1,400 words there, right? Okay. So what are we at? Well, we're honestly somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 words. Okay. That translates to about 9 to 10 pages of essays that you're going to do. Okay? If you had a 10-page essay due, you better believe you would know the dates, the schedule, you would put it on your calendar, you would do all that stuff. So that's what I want to encourage you to do here. Okay? And again, I work primarily with students from California. I'm happy to work with students all over, obviously. But I'm going to go with the schedule that I share with most of my students, okay? So let me just create a timeline. We're going to start right here on September 1, and we're going to end here on January 1, okay? Everything's going to be done by the new year, January 1, 2023, okay? Let's see if I can space these out reasonably. October 1, November 1, and December 1. Well, it's pretty close. Okay. All right. So the big deadlines. Obviously, the November 1 deadline is the most important. It's the early decision and early action. Okay? I don't know what your counselors are advising you to do, but it seems to me like every student now applies to at least one school early decision or early action, right? Most people do the non-binding one, early action, where you get in but you don't have to go. But I always plan for students to be ready to submit on November 1, okay? So December 1, actually I'll put down here just a slash, November 30, because November 30, December 1 is the UC apps that are due. All right. And then January 1 will be the remaining Common App schools that you didn't apply to in November. Okay, all right. So here's the way I like to structure things. And so above the line here, we have the due dates. Below the line, below the timeline, excuse me, I'm going to draw or just write out for you what I think you should be working on during those times, okay? So, first of all, from September 1st to October 1st, this whole month is about, and let me draw this here. This whole month is about settling on a Common App topic and creating a first draft. My goal for all my students is that we hit October 1st already with a first draft of our Common App essay, okay? That gives us a whole month to revise that first draft into a final draft that we're going to submit. All right? Okay. So, I like to spend with students this time from October 1st until about the 15th on revising the Common App essay. And then the last 15 days of the month, I'll put this down here, the last 15 days of this month, this is when we work on the supplements. Okay? So that gives you a good window into how you can allot your time before November 1st. You'll notice I do not even recommend to students that they start on their UC apps until after their early decision and early action is submitted. Okay, and there's I have a couple good reasons for that. My best reason for that is I think that the way you write your UC apps is by repurposing and revising what you wrote for the Common App essay and reusing some of your supplements. The whole idea of this process, guys, is to try to get through it writing as little as possible, okay? It's okay to try to take a 650-word Common App essay and try to cut it to 350 for the UCs. I work with students every year doing that, and it works out great for them. I also will help students take a 250-word supplement that they wrote and expand it until it becomes a 350-word personal insight essay, okay? All right, so now look at how November looks for us. November is is entirely spent basically adapting and repurposing your Common App essay materials. Okay? And then the last part, December to January, might be spent on some finishing touches, maybe some scholarship essays, etc. Okay? But you'll notice that this is a very front-loaded process, right? A lot happens before November 1st, and you kind of got to go into your semester with that mindset. And I know that that is so challenging for you guys, and my heart would just ache for my students because I know what also happens right around November 1st. Midterms, right? I mean, this is when I would be scheduling a midterm. This is when I would be scheduling a paper being due. And I always ended up like moving my midterm or essay deadlines to try to help students deal with this November 1 deadline. It is a tough one. It is one, I mean, it's tough because it's the first deadline, so you've never been through this before, and it just feels more stressful because of that. But it's also tough because it's competing, this deadline is competing with so many other deadlines in your lives. Okay, so all right, I'm going to wrap it up here. I just wanted to give you this idea for how you can map out your time in the fall. And man, what you really ought to be looking forward to is how good it's going to feel on January 1 when all these materials are submitted and you are done, right? It's out of your hands. The universe can take over now. And that is a sweet place to be. And if there's one thing I think that students don't do enough, is they don't relish their victories enough. You gotta relish your victories, man. You gotta relish the triumphs. You worked hard to get to this point. Look at everything you're gonna have to do. You're gonna write 9 to 10 pages of essays. Celebrate that when it's all done on January 1st, man. Celebrate it. Be liberated from that process. Know that you did your best and that it's out of your hands, okay? So, I hope this has been helpful. Once again, I encourage you to subscribe or like these videos if you find them useful. You are also more than welcome to reach out to me for one-on-one consultations where we can help develop a schedule that works for you and where we can set up dates where I can read your submissions and provide feedback before the deadlines. All right, thanks for tuning in. This is Dr. Vella signing out.